Hello and welcome to That Is Night podcast. It's everybody's favorite single mom here. Do you think your sleep schedule sucks? Well, wait until you hear this. So there's this sleep schedule called the Uberman Cycle. What is the Uberman Cycle? The Uberman Cycle is where you take 6 20-minute naps evenly distributed throughout the day. Who uses the Uberman Sleep Cycle? Who's crazy enough to do this? That would be Nikola Tesla and Leonardo Da Vinci. So let's start out with Da Vinci. Da Vinci would use this sleep cycle. He would take 15-minute naps. So he said, to hell with that 5 minutes. He takes 15-minute naps every 4 hours throughout the day, which leads to 1.5 hours of sleep every day. Now let's think, it sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but let's think about it like this. What does that mean for him? What do you benefit? Well, that's an extra 6 hours of productivity every day. So 6 hours every day, and then you calculate that for his whole life. That's an extra 20 years that this man had to himself to be productive, to draw things, to make things, to paint things, to flex on the haters. That's an extra 20 years of flexing on the haters. Now, Nikola Tesla, he never slept more than 2 hours a day. He never slept more than 2 hours in a 24-hour period. But, he followed the strict Uberman sleep cycle where he would do the 20-minute. He was a traditional guy. But there were nights where he would sleep, he'd get a nice solid 2 hours in. But he had a mental breakdown at the age of 25. And yes, this could be from his sleep cycle. But this also could have been from the time that he had a particle accelerator to the head. He had a particle accelerator shoot him in the head. And this led to just a little tiny bit of brain damage. A tiny amount, not enough to really harm you, but enough to make you have a mental breakdown at the age of 25. So the best way to think of the Uberman sleep cycle, so when you sleep, fluid is basically rinsing your brain. It rinses your brain from waste and toxins that you accumulate from using it. So if you think about it this way, it makes more sense. Now, look at your brain like a sink, the kitchen sink. Now, if you go all day and you put dishes in it from breakfast, you put dishes in it from lunch, you put dishes in it from dinner, you put dishes in it from snacks throughout the day, it's going to accumulate. And then by the end of the day, you're going to have to spend a lot of time washing those dishes. But say you eat breakfast and you put dirty dishes in the sink, in the kitchen sink. You go and you clean it immediately after breakfast. Now you have a clean sink. Then you put dishes in it for lunch. And then immediately after lunch, you clean those dishes. Now you got a clean sink. You have dinner, same thing. Clean sink after you clean the dishes. And this is like the Uberman sleep cycle because so if every 4 hours you take a nap, like Leonardo Da Vinci, every 15 minutes, he would take every 4 hours he would take a 15-minute nap. So that 4 hours of waste and toxins that have built up, he would sleep and get them flushed and clean them. Essentially, he's cleaning his kitchen sink. Instead of just going throughout the entire day, no sleep, going throughout the entire day, loading up that sink with some dishes, and then spending a lot of time cleaning them at the end of the day, aka 7 to 9 hour sleep. He would just do it in increments. As soon as he would build up enough toxins, he would sleep, rinse his brain, and he's good to go. And I don't know enough about, don't try it. Just don't try it. I don't know enough about it. I'm not recommending it. Don't try it. So the next thing that I'm going to transition into here are the strange thing about words and sayings. So What are words? Well, right off the bat, words are something weird. They're sounds we make with our mouth that have a meaning. But it's literally, to us, it has some sort of value or some sort of meaning when we say something. But it's really just a sound coming out of someone's mouth. And these words have some sort of power because some words can be insulting, some can be a compliment. Like if I say, "Oh, you're getting fat," that may be not a compliment depending on who you are, but that may be an insult. But it's literally it's no different than me going, "You're getting like if was a word, and then you could just go, how rude of you. Or I could compliment you and say, "You're getting whoo." And then you could say, "That's so nice of you. Thanks. I've been on a diet." But different sounds from our mouth can make people feel different. So some words have a very malleable. They can be used in a lot of different ways. I'm trying to make it sound smarter than I asked to be, but they can be used in a lot of different ways. So the phrase, "come on," like come on, those two words, come on, C-O-M-E, come on. And, but you can also use that in a lot of different ways now. And that's pretty cool, just depending on the way you say it. Because I could say to you, "Come on, let's go," and that means, let's leave now. Or I can say, "Come on," meaning like, "Are you serious?" Or I can say, "Come on," which means just try it. I can say, "Come on," which means hurry up. I can say, "Come on," which means there's not a fat chance. There's no chance that's happening. Or I can say, "Come on," which would be cheer up. You're sitting there, you're telling me, "Oh, this happened, it's so bad and hard," and yada yada. And I just go, "Oh, come on. It's going to be all right." Or you could tell me something sad. And you're like, "Oh, this person called me earlier today." And I could say to you, because I'd be like, "That's kind of ridiculous that you care." I could say, "Come on. Are you kidding me? Come on." And there's another one. There's "oh, really." Now, "oh, really," to me, I take it's controversial. If someone says, "Oh, really?" So that's how it's intended to be used. So if you say something and it kind of shocks the person, you go, "Oh, really?" Or if it's interesting, "Oh, really?" Or you can, "Oh, really?" Or you can do, so that's what it's intended for. When there's a disbelief of something someone said, but not a disbelief like they're a liar, but a disbelief in, "Well, that's surprising." The "oh, really," 97.2% of the time is used in this scenario. When someone says something that is intended to be surprising or shocking or interesting, or when someone says something that someone did, I don't know, you know what I mean, and you have to, and you don't, the person having to hear it, you don't care much, and you go, "Oh, really?" Which is so, it's so sad when someone tells you something and you just go, "Oh, really? Wow. Oh, really? Okay. Wow." Just like a faked, it's a very fake enthusiasm. It's a response you give when you know the person wants you to be enthusiastic or surprised or in disbelief, but you're not. It's not either of those things, but it's not even like you don't want to hurt the person's feelings, because if someone says, "Oh, really?" to you, and if you actually think like, "Oh, yeah, awesome, they're engaged in the story, they're really taking well to it," you're wrong, because they're not, and you know it. Don't be boring. Be more interesting. Have more interesting things to say. Or don't say them. because it should be like a serious offense. Maybe even an offense worthy of capital punishment. This may even be an offense worthy of capital punishment. If you say something that requires the person listening to have to respond, oh really? Because it's exhausting. It's exhausting to have to say that. It's exhausting. I feel every time I say it when someone says something and it's not interesting, every time I say it, I feel a little bit of my life slipping from me. So to a degree, it's murder, torture maybe. And then you fake laugh. You know, that's also worthy of capital punishment is fake laughing. What a federal offense. Just don't laugh. But it's hard because there's social norms and it could be awkward. But just don't laugh. I hope that this becomes a thing. I hope this catches wind. And we stop laughing at things that are not funny just to avoid hurting a feeling or two. Because we're enabling it. You ever see the show Intervention when like the girlfriend will be like buying the drugs for the person because like, oh, I just eat this or that and I just give him money because he said he's hungry, and then suddenly he comes home, he doesn't have any food, and he looks like he's high on crack. That person giving the addict money is an enabler. There's no difference if you're laughing at someone trying to be funny. You're enabling it. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to go and get another fix by telling someone else something that's not funny. You know? And the reason it offends me is because, you know, it's insulting because, you know, you got to at least try. At least try. Don't just throw things out there when the chance of them actually being, you know, hilarious, when there's maybe a 10% chance. Don't just be throwing things out there, taking stabs in the dark all day long in the hopes that you'll get a goof or a gaff out of somebody. Capital punishment. Capital punishment. Because that's also life sucking, especially if all day you have to do that. Have a conversation with somebody where the only things you're saying or doing are, oh, really? Then by the end of the day, you're just so drained. But that's a little bit of a rant. Yeah, like, what if ice creams were alcohol? You know, just imagine it. Imagine if the way you got drunk was by eating ice creams. Like you're driving, you just got home from hanging out with your buddies at the parlor down by the beach or whatever, you know. You had a few too many ice creams. You're driving all over the place. You know, you shouldn't have driven because you should have had a DD because you were going out to eat ice creams. Got a little carried away. You get pulled over. You get stopped. Cop asks you how many ice creams you had to eat tonight. And you're like, there's one. There's one ice cream. You get out, you take a breathalyzer, and your blood sugar level, your glucose levels are through the roof. Because you got a little bit of blood in your lungs too, so that's how they found that out, I guess. But yeah, he goes, oh wow. He goes, sir, your blood glucose levels are through the roof. How many ice creams did you have again today? You're like, well, just one ice cream. And You lose your license, man. You ate too many ice creams. Or imagine just like some like reckless freaking trailer trash drunk just goes home and is like rude to his wife. And it's like, you have an ice cream problem. It's like, oh, fuck you, I don't got no kind of problem. I'm not going much anywhere with that. Let's talk about idioms. Idioms. IDIOMES. Idioms, however you say it. So these are sayings. Like, for example, one is like bite the bullet. You ever hear the saying when someone's like, you're telling a story and you just say, oh yeah, I just bit the bullet, which means, you kind of just avoided conflict. You just like, you powered through it. Where did that come from? So this came from, the history is before there was anesthesia, if you got your leg blown off in the Civil War, you would be given something to bite on. And frequently they would give you a bullet to bite on. So you're getting your legs sawed off and you're chomping down on a bullet to try to manage the pain. Number one, okay. There's got to be better things than a bullet to bite, but that's just me. Laying around. Like a rag or something would be a little bit better, but a bullet, yeah. So bite the bullet. There's whoops-a-daisy. Whoops-a-daisy. Which shouldn't even be a saying because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, bite the bullet, it makes sense to a degree. But whoops-a-daisy. Whoops-a-daisy. Nobody says that, hopefully. And, yeah, there are some that are bad. There are some that are good. So another one is spill the beans. That meeting, oh, tell us. Let's hear. It's all that juicy gossip we want to know. So spill the beans. Which, if anybody says that, they're probably the same kind of person who makes you say, oh, really? If someone's saying to you, oh, okay, yeah, well, let's hear it. Spill the beans. And then they're going to probably tell you something. And then you're going to go, oh, really? Oh. That's funny. But just imagine that. Like spill the beans means, like, let's hear what happens. Now, imagine, like, a mafia boss. All right? Imagine a mafia boss. And he's sitting there and someone has to tell him some news. One of his hitmen or whatever. He walks, the mob boss sitting in his office, and some guy comes in and he goes, hey, boss, we got something to tell you about Joey. And the mob boss looks at him and goes, oh, Joey, okay, let's see. Yeah, let's hear about Joey. Spill the beans. What do we got? Spill the beans. And then it's going to kind of slap you in the face, take you off guard. But yeah, sometimes things don't make any sense. Sometimes they're weird, like whoops-a-daisy. Like whoops-a-daisy is like, that's like someone just threw some things together. Whoops. Daisy, saw-a-flower. So one that I like that I'm going to probably start using is another nip in the dust flap. Oh, well, there you go. There's another nip in the dust flap. Like, that's about how much sense a lot of them make, like whoops-a-daisy. Oh, there you go. One more nip in the dust flap, guys. Which could mean that's another one bites the dust. Oh, another nip in the dust flap. So next time something happens and you have you're at a loss of words, but say a lot of bad things keep happening, right, to people. Well, another nip in the dust flap. That's unfortunate. But yeah, there you go. So I'm going to link, if you want to know more about the one probably intelligent topic in this entire podcast today, the Uberman Sleep Cycle, I'm going to link some information below that you can read about it. But other than that, mention in the comments a cool, awesome, original idiom or saying that I can start saying or that you want to catch on. Let's start a new one. Whoops-a-daisy. No. But another nip in the dust flap. you can use that. It's Creative Commons. I'm giving that royalty-free licensing. So thanks again, ladies and gentlemen. This was That Is Nice podcast, and have a good night.